What's up guys? Today we're going to be installing our Billetworkz Premium Alcantara Shift Boots in this automatic 22 GR86. This process is also the same for 22 and up BRZs as well. So if you have one of those, you can also follow this video along as well. So with that being said, let's get into it. So the first step we're going to do here is separate the boot from the retainer that is attached to the shift knob. So to do that, we're just going to grab and we're going to pull down and kind of wiggle. It can be a little tight and tricky sometimes. You gotta pull, and then it'll just pop off like that. Now once this is separated, we can go ahead and spin off the shift knob. So the next steps are going to be removing the trim. The first piece of trim we have to remove is this black panel right here. I recommend using an angled trim tool like we have here. We're just going to stick it in this side part here, kind of wiggle it in, and then pop. It can be a little tricky. That one just pops out, and then once it's out, you just kind of work your way along. Just get your hand behind it, and it'll come out like that. The next step is going to be removing these two Phillip head screws that we have right here. So get yourself a Phillips. Go ahead and unscrew these. Now with those two screws removed, we can go ahead and remove this silver trim that we have here. The little tip that I like to do is actually pop the e-brake boot out just to help relieve the pressure on the tab that's right here. So we'll go ahead and just do that real quick. You can go ahead and take your trim tool again. I like to start in the back right here. Just get in there, pry up, pull, and just work your way around. You can see that side popped right out. We're gonna kind of just work our way up, pull, and they'll pop right off just like that. So once we have the silver trim piece, the next step is going to be taking off the black bezel that actually holds the shift boot itself. It has these tabs right here on each side. I like to just kind of wrap my fingers underneath and put my thumbs on top and pull straight up. And then once you come up, you are going to notice there is a clip right in here with a little tab. I just like to disconnect that. Then your boot is free and we're good to go. Once you have this piece out, we're going to flip it over. And you'll notice that we have 4 Phillips head screws that we need to remove in order to actually separate the shift boot from the trim piece itself here. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. Then once that's off, you can just go ahead and grab here and it just separates from the trim. So now that the boot is out from the trim piece, we can go ahead and install our Billetworkz Premium Alcantara Shift Boot. But before we do that, we do have to separate the boot from this plastic trim here. And on the inside, there's also a little rubber retainer that we have to separate and re-glue as well. So we'll go ahead and do that now. First thing is, I'm just gonna go ahead and actually get the retainer out here. So let's just go ahead and start doing that. And to do that, you're literally just going to push and pull on the retainer. It's just glued in there. It can be a little tricky, but yeah, you're just gonna kind of work your way around it. Just again, work your way around on the inside. And it is separated. So we are going to hang on to this because we are going to re-glue it into the Billetworkz Premium Alcantara Shift Boot. Once that is off, it is then going to be time to remove it from the plastic trim piece here, and that's going to be a lot easier than taking this off. So all you do is you see there's these little tabs here, you just pull and lift your way around. And once these are separated, you're gonna hang on to this because the Premium Alcantara Shift Boot from Billetworkz is gonna utilize this. The next step is going to be gluing the retainer into the Billetworkz Shift Boot that we have here. And how we're gonna do that is using this glue right here. This is just DAP's contact cement. You can get this at your local hardware store. So before we glue that into it, I just want to give you a little tip here on how we're actually going to be installing this. So it's going to be going inside the boot. I'll show you in a second. But what I want to point out is whenever you do push this up and in, you only want to push it up to about that far. The reason for that is if you push it up too far, these tabs and ears aren't going to have enough space to fold into here and glue on the inside. And then as far as the glue goes, we're just going to go ahead and put it on the retainer here. So we're just going to work our way around like so. And then once we have the glue on this, make sure your hands have no glue on it. And we're going to open this up, being very careful not to get any on the outside. We're gonna slide it up on in until we get up to where we absolutely need to. About that 1/4 of the inch way down on the boot. We're just gonna press it along there. Just make sure that she sits nice and comfortable. So now that the glue has set with the retainer, now we can go ahead and add glue to the inside on the top here so that we can fold over these tabs and get those glued in there as well. And then once that's all glued, you just go ahead and push over your tabs. And then we're just gonna kind of push your finger in there. While your finger's in there, just kind of squeeze and pinch together. So now we're going to install the shift boot here onto the trim piece. We have these 2 tabs right here, and they're going to line up with these slits that you see right here on the shift boot. Start at 1, then just work our way around. So now that we have the plastic trim installed, we can go ahead and put it back into the car. We're going to take our boot, we're going to put this back in. It's going to lay down. It has little guiding pins for you, so you can just lay those over the guiding pins. We'll take this, slide that back over, and then you'll see these tabs here are going to just slide right over the edge there. And again, these also have guide pins as well. Then we can go ahead and install the 4 Phillips head screws we took out earlier. So now that the 4 Phillips head screws are in, we can go ahead and start putting everything back into place. We need to reinstall the clip that we took out earlier. It just snaps back in like so. Slide the boot over like that. Line up all of your tabs, make sure they're good and push down. Just like so. Then once that is clipped in, we're going to clip in the silver trim piece here. And then we're gonna re-clip in our e-brake boot here. And then we have the 2 Phillips head bolts that we need to reinstall too as well. Then the last piece we're gonna install as far as the trim goes is this piece right here. Just clips right in like that. So now that we have the shift boot and all the trim back installed, now we're gonna go ahead and put the knob in. We're actually gonna be putting in a Billetworkz sphere knob here using our also Billetworkz boot retainer as well. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that. So this boot retainer here is our universal 10x125 boot retainer. So it will work with any car that has a 10x1.25 thread, which this 22 GR86 has. So we're gonna start off by threading that on like so. We're gonna thread that all the way down. And then we're also gonna take our adapter and go ahead and thread that on top of here. Now these are both 17mm wrenches. So we're gonna put one up top and one on the bottom. And we're just gonna snug those up real quick. And the reason why we're doing that now is so whenever we go on to screw on the shift knob, the insert doesn't get stuck in here. So now real quick, if you do look at this shift knob, you will notice that the engraving is off. So to adjust that, we're going to take the knob back off and we are going to loosen and adjust till the knob is straight. So now we can go ahead and just simply take our boot and slide it up and over the retainer here. Just like so. And there we go, a nice clean flush look. All right guys, and there you have it, our installation of our Alcantara premium shift boot and a Billetworkz weighted sphere in this 22 GR86. Make sure you check out billetworkz.com to see the other color variants we have for this vehicle and to also see if we have fitment for your vehicle for an Alcantara shift boot. Thanks, see you next time.